flight was born here. Pirates met their end off this coast. Towering lighthouses guard some of the most dangerous waters on Earth. And a plant that eats insects grows here and nowhere else. These are 35 wild facts about North Carolina you won't believe are real. Fact 1. Where flight was born. In December of 1903, two bicycle mechanics from Ohio, Wilbur and Orville Wright, chose the sandy dunes of Kitty Hawk for an experiment that would change the world forever. Why here? The answer was simple. Strong, consistent winds, soft sand for crashes, and isolation from crowds. On December 17th, the Wright brothers achieved the first successful powered, controlled airplane flight, staying airborne for 12 seconds and traveling 120 feet. It may not sound like much, but that moment launched the age of aviation, leading to modern airplanes, space travel, and global transportation as we know it. That's why North Carolina proudly claims, first in flight. Fact 2. First public university in the U.S. The University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill opened its doors in 1795, becoming the first public university to admit students and graduate a class. At a time when higher education was mostly reserved for the wealthy elite, UNC was built on the idea that education should be accessible to the public. Over 2 centuries later, the university is still operating, blending colonial history with modern research, innovation, and athletics. Few schools in the world can say they've educated Americans since the 18th century, and are still doing it today. Fact 3. Venus flytraps exist naturally only here. These famous carnivorous plants, known for snapping shut on insects, are native to a tiny region around Wilmington, extending slightly into South Carolina. And that's it. Nowhere else on Earth do they grow naturally. Venus flytraps evolved to survive nutrient-poor soil by trapping insects and digesting them for nitrogen. Because of habitat loss and illegal poaching, they're now protected by law. So when you think of North Carolina, remember, it's home to one of the most unique plants on the planet. Fact 4. America's first gold rush. In 1799, a young boy discovered a massive gold nugget in a creek in Cabarrus County. That find led to the opening of Reed Gold Mine, the first documented gold mine in the United States. By the early 1800s, North Carolina was producing more gold than any other state, fueling local economies, and even leading to the creation of a U.S. Mint branch in Charlotte. So while California gets the fame, the original gold rush story began right here in the Carolinas. Fact 5. Tallest mountain east of the Mississippi. Mount Mitchell rises to an impressive 6,684 feet, towering above the Blue Ridge Mountains. Named after scientist Elisha Mitchell, the peak offers dramatic views, cool temperatures, and unique ecosystems found nowhere else in the eastern United States. On clear days, you can see rolling mountain layers stretch endlessly into the distance, a reminder of North Carolina's incredible geographic diversity. Fact 6. Tallest brick lighthouse in the U.S. The Cape Hatteras Lighthouse stands 198 feet tall, guiding ships through some of the most dangerous waters in the Atlantic. Nicknamed the Graveyard of the Atlantic, this coastline has claimed thousands of shipwrecks due to shifting sandbars and powerful storms. In 1999, the entire lighthouse was actually moved inland, brick by brick, to save it from erosion. Today, it remains one of the most iconic landmarks on the East Coast. Fact 7. Pepsi was invented here. In 1898, a pharmacist named Caleb Bradham created a drink in New Bern meant to aid digestion. Originally called Brad's Drink, it was later renamed Pepsi-Cola. What started as a small-town experiment grew into one of the world's largest beverage brands, all thanks to a North Carolina soda fountain. Fact 8. Krispy Kreme started here too. The first Krispy Kreme shop opened in Winston-Salem in 1937, selling donuts through a hole in the wall to passers-by. Today, that same melt-in-your-mouth recipe is loved worldwide. Not bad for a humble southern startup. Fact 9. Largest private home in America. The Biltmore Estate in Asheville boasts 250 rooms, including 35 bedrooms, 43 bathrooms, and a massive private library. Built by George Vanderbilt in the late 1800s, the estate was designed to be a self-sustaining luxury retreat. Today, it's open to the public and remains a stunning symbol of America's Gilded Age. Fact 10. Blackbeard's Final Battle. In 1718, Blackbeard, real name Edward Teach, met his end near Ocracoke Island after a fierce battle with British naval forces. Legends say he was shot and stabbed multiple times before finally falling. His death marked the end of one of the most feared pirates in history and added yet another layer of mystery to North Carolina shores. Fact 11. The Outer Banks literally move. These narrow barrier islands are not permanent land. Over time, wind, waves, and storms slowly push them westward. Hurricanes carve new inlets, seal old ones, and reshape entire islands overnight. Roads disappear. Homes are relocated. Even lighthouses have been lifted and moved to survive erosion. The Outer Banks are living, shifting landforms, constantly changing under the forces of the Atlantic Ocean. Fact 12. More coastline than California. While California's coastline looks longer on a map, North Carolina's includes thousands of miles of sounds, inlets, estuaries, and barrier islands. When all of that waterline is counted, North Carolina boasts over 3,300 miles of coastline. It's one of the most complex coastal systems in the entire country. Fact 13. Birthplace of NASCAR. During Prohibition, bootleggers modified their cars to outrun law enforcement while hauling illegal moonshine through winding back roads. After deliveries, they raced each other to prove whose car was fastest. Those underground races became organized competitions, and in 1948, NASCAR was officially founded. What began as illegal liquor runs evolved into one of America's biggest sports. Fact 14. One of the largest military bases in the world. Formerly known as Fort Bragg, the base covers over 250 square miles and supports tens of thousands of soldiers and families. It is home to elite airborne and special operations forces and plays a critical role in U.S. military readiness. Few places on Earth train more combat-ready troops than this single North Carolina installation. Fact 15. America's most visited national park unit. Stretching 469 miles through North Carolina and Virginia, the parkway draws more visitors than Yellowstone and Yosemite combined. Its blend of accessibility, scenic beauty, and cultural history makes it America's favorite drive. Millions come each year, chasing views that change with every mile. Fact 16. First English child born in the New World. In 1587, Virginia Dare was born in the Roanoke colony. Soon after, the entire colony mysteriously vanished, leaving behind one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in American history. Her birth ties North Carolina to the very beginning of English settlement in America. Fact 17. A rainforest in the mountains. The Appalachian temperate rainforest receives some of the heaviest rainfall in eastern North America, often exceeding 100 inches per year. The result is a lush, ancient ecosystem filled with moss, ferns, and towering hardwoods. It's one of the most biologically rich forests on the planet, hidden in plain sight. Fact 18. Wild horses on the beach. Known as banker horses, they are believed to descend from Spanish horses shipwrecked centuries ago. These animals have adapted to salt air, sparse vegetation, and harsh coastal conditions. Seeing them wander the beaches feels like stepping back in time. Fact 19. Extreme biological diversity. Elevation ranges from sea level to nearly 7,000 feet, supporting over 3,000 plant species. From coastal marshes to alpine forests, few states pack this much biodiversity into one place. Fact 20. Scotch-Irish roots shape the state. Settlers from Scotland and Northern Ireland brought music, storytelling, food traditions, and a fierce sense of independence. Their influence still echoes in Appalachian folk music, regional accents, and Southern cuisine. North Carolina's cultural identity was forged by these early settlers, and it still shows today. Fact 21. Sweet potato capital of America. Nearly half of all sweet potatoes grown in the United States come from North Carolina. The state's soil, climate, and farming traditions make it the perfect place for this crop to thrive. Sweet potatoes aren't just a side dish here. They're a major part of North Carolina's agricultural identity and economy. Fact 22. over 40 state parks. These parks protect everything from rugged mountain peaks and waterfalls to quiet beaches and maritime forests. Whether you want to hike, paddle, camp, or simply explore, North Carolina's park system offers some of the most diverse outdoor experiences in the country. Fact 23. Moravian cookies originated here. Introduced by Moravian settlers in the 1700s, these paper-thin cookies became a staple in places like Old Salem, near present-day Winston-Salem. Baked with spices like ginger and nutmeg, they were designed to be simple, durable, and shared with neighbors. Today, they remain a beloved North Carolina holiday tradition. Fact 24. America's first miniature golf course. In 1916, a course was built in Fayetteville, originally designed to help people practice putting. It didn't take long for the game to become pure entertainment. What started as a training tool turned into a national pastime. Fact 25. Exactly 100 counties. No more, no less. Established over time to make government accessible by horseback travel, the counties reflect the state's long history of local governance. Today, North Carolina is one of only a few states with precisely 100 counties. Fact 26. Towns older than the United States. Bath, founded in 1705, is the oldest incorporated town in the state. When Bath was established, the United States didn't exist, and independence was still decades away. Walking its streets today feels like stepping back into colonial America. Fact 27. Emerald is the state gemstone. Emeralds are rare in the eastern United States, but several notable specimens have been found in North Carolina. These gems helped earn the state a quiet reputation among mineral collectors and gem enthusiasts. Fact 28. First state-supported art museum. The North Carolina Museum of Art was founded using works owned by the state itself. Today, it houses collections spanning thousands of years and features one of the largest museum parks in the country. Art in North Carolina has always been considered a public good. Fact 29. The Graveyard of the Atlantic. Known as the Graveyard of the Atlantic, these waters have claimed thousands of ships over centuries. Shifting sandbars, powerful storms, and conflicting ocean currents create deadly conditions for navigation. Even today, shipwrecks rest just beneath the waves. Fact 30. North Carolina nearly became a Quaker state. In the 1700s, Quakers made up one of the largest religious populations in the colony. Their beliefs emphasized peace, equality, and community, shaping laws, education, and culture. Though many eventually migrated west, their influence remains woven into North Carolina's identity. Fact 31. Beach to mountains in one day. From the Atlantic coastline to the Appalachian peaks, North Carolina stretches roughly 500 miles end to end. That means you can watch the sun rise over the ocean and set behind mountain ridges, all in the same day. Few states offer such dramatic geographic variety within a single drive. Fact 32. A bold state motto. The Latin phrase esse quam videri reflects a deep-rooted value: authenticity over appearance. It's a quiet confidence, a reminder that substance matters more than show. Bold words for a state that's always let its actions speak louder than its image. Fact 33. A town named Bogue. Bogue, pronounced bogey, sits quietly along North Carolina's coast. Despite how it sounds, the name actually comes from Old French and Native American roots, not household appliances. Still, it remains one of the state's most unintentionally funny place names. Fact 34. Barbecue is serious business. Eastern style uses the whole hog and a vinegar-based sauce with spices. Lexington style focuses on pork shoulder and adds tomato to the vinegar base. The divide runs deep, and locals will passionately defend their side. In North Carolina, barbecue isn't just food. It's identity. Fact 35. The Tar Heel State. During colonial times, the state was a major producer of tar, pitch, and turpentine, vital materials for ships. Workers often ended the day with tar stuck to their shoes, literally on their heels. What began as a nickname became a badge of pride, now worn across the state and beyond. From shifting coastlines to timeless traditions, North Carolina's story is rich, resilient, and real. To be, rather than to seem.